Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone. Thought I'd share this really positive news for Canada. And it's not just going to be me ranting. I want to show you a clip from US news, not Canadian sources, not left-wing liberal sources, not my opinion. The type of things that are being discussed in the United States now as their president and their administration continue to wreak havoc on their country. And the common theme in a lot of my videos is their loss is our gain. So let me play this clip for you of Velshi is the name of the reporter talking about Canada and the brain drain from the United States to our wonderful country. Let's listen.
For years, Canada has suffered from a so-called brain drain of top talent leaving to work at companies, hospitals, and universities in the United States. But as the Trump administration cracks down on immigration and guts research funding, the brain drain may now be hitting the United States. And Canada wants to scoop up all those talented workers from America. Last week, Canada announced an aggressive push to attract highly skilled researchers from around the world, including the United States. The Canadian government is pledging to invest $1.2 billion over 12 years in this global recruitment effort. While Canada didn't explicitly mention the U.S. in its announcement, the subtext in the Minister of Industry's statement makes it pretty clear. Quote, as other countries constrain academic freedoms and undermine cutting-edge research, Canada is investing in and doubling down on science. Back in November, the Canadians also launched a new immigration pathway for H-1B visa holders, promising to fast-track their immigration to Canada. H-1B visas allow U.S. employers to hire highly skilled foreign workers temporarily, especially when it's difficult to find an American to fill a specialized job. So why might Canada be poaching would-be H-1B visa holders from America? Probably because back in September, the Trump administration slapped a $100,000 one-time fee on H-1B visas, which is generally assumed to be paid for by the employer or the potential employer. Last week, 20 states announced that they're suing the administration over that policy. The tech industry is known for its reliance on foreign workers on H-1B visas, but that $100,000 fee will have more far-reaching consequences than just tech. America has long suffered from a shortage of healthcare workers in this country, especially doctors and nurses. The Washington Post explains, quote, these legal workers fill crucial gaps in rural and underserved regions, Iowa, North Dakota, and West Virginia, states that overwhelmingly voted for Trump in the last 3 elections. They lead the nation with the highest percentage of physicians who hold H-1B visas, according to a study published this year, end quote.
And all I can say is Merry Christmas and a warm welcome to any highly skilled worker who chooses Canada instead of the United States. Let me elaborate on this policy as it relates to healthcare workers. Just recently, the Liberal government announced a way to open new fast track to permanent residency for 5,000 foreign doctors. Federal Immigration Minister Lina Diab announced Monday, a couple of weeks ago, that her department will allow provinces and territories to nominate 5,000 doctors currently working in Canada for a fast track immigration stream towards permanent residency. A lot of those doctors are American, that are fed up with the system and what's happening in their own country. Any non-cult member American who knows how to critically think, that's had enough with their own country, that wants to come to Canada, will welcome you with open arms. And I'm going to make this a short video, kind of my Christmas gift to you. Hopefully it makes you feel good. Just talk about this example, and then I've compiled dozens more that maybe I'll make a future video of. But reported here on the Canadian Press just a couple of days ago, Canada needs to stand firm as trade talks approach. Unifer's Payne. Oh, who's Unifer's Payne? Well, it's this woman in the background right beside me here. I always get my directions. I'm looking, everything's reverse when you're looking at a camera. And Mrs. Payne is the president of Unifor, Canada's largest labor union. This is not, again, a capitalist or a pro-business person. This is a labor representative. And she recognizes that Canada is in a very advantageous position as the United States continues to implement policies that self-destruct, that hurt their own nation. And what is the saying? When you see your enemy making mistakes, just let them continue to make those mistakes and reap the rewards. And that should be Canada's position, and that's her position. As Canada approaches a review of its key free trade deal with the United States next year, Unifor National President Lana Payne says it's important to stand firm for a good deal. Payne said she's troubled by the views of some in the business community who have pushed to reach trade deals quickly. She says rushing into a deal at any cost is absolutely the most terrible approach to negotiations, and Canada has to remember it has leverage in these talks. Prime Minister Mark Carney said last week that Canada will enter into formal discussions with the United States in January to review their free trade agreement. And several U.S. government officials have already stated that one possibility is to scrap the deal completely. Payne said it's important to play hardball and not allow tariffs to be legitimized in any form. Instead, Canada needs to hold out and let the self-inflicted wounds of tariffs create pressure in the United States instead. And she's absolutely right, and it's so refreshing to hear those comments from someone who has a little bit of gumption and a little bit of pride in Canada and a little bit of faith in our own abilities, as opposed to, I won't mention the name, but some opposition leader who I guess his stance is, well, Mark Carney promised that he would have a deal and he broke his promise, and he needs to get a deal now because he broke his promise and everything's broken. Let's just put that aside. She's absolutely right. And let me end it here by playing you our Prime Minister's take. And he makes some fairly clear, intelligent remarks in an interview he did with Rosemary Barton. Smart and focused and direct.
I think the biggest challenge, which we're ready for, I think as a government and absolutely as a country, is not letting the U.S. situation is serious. We're going to work hard and we're going to negotiate on that. But remaining focused, focus on what we can control, focus on building here at home, and yes, finishing these trade and other discussions abroad. That's what is going to have, that will have a bigger payback over time, both of those, individually and collectively, for this country. This will put the country in a much better position over the medium term. So I'm answering it to some extent in the positive, and that's what we need to focus on.
Sure.
Partly in the negative, of course, we're going to work hard on the U.S. Negotiation, but we can't let it crowd everything else out. You quite rightly have, you don't need me to grade you, but kept a more limited part of this discussion around the U.S. Yes, it's important, but it's not everything. But it can very quickly become everything. Just like some people in the House of Commons think a pipeline is everything. It's remarkable how many questions are about a pipeline. When you think about what can be invested in hydroelectricity, what's invested, we have the potential in this country to become one of the leaders in nuclear power, particularly small modular reactors. We started down that road. Huge payoff for the environment, huge payoff for jobs. We happen to be in Ontario, right here in Ontario and across the country. We have huge opportunities in defense, in AI, in cyber. These are areas as well. We have to be able to do more than one thing. This government is capable of doing that.
Okay, I'm out of time, but I want to ask you, do you like this job?
Do I like this job? Yes. How's that? Let's end on a high. It's an important time, and it's a privilege to have it. It's a huge responsibility, but as long as I have it, I'm going to be working flat out on it.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Happy holidays.
Thank you, you too.
When I hear Mark Carney speak like that, it gives me a little bit of confidence that at least he understands the situation, and this focus on one issue, as he mentioned. It's amazing how some people think that if we had a pipeline, Canada would be wonderful. It's crazy how the media and some politicians just focus in on one thing. If you live in Red Deer, Alberta, or east of Red Deer, rurally, and you're sitting out there on the tailgate of your pickup truck wearing your cowboy hat, looking at your cattle, if I could just snap my fingers like this and all of a sudden there's another pipeline magically appears from Alberta to the West Coast, is your life fantastic? Are your cows happier? Like, what? People have a strange way of trying to portray issues just one thing at a time, a doom and gloom on one particular issue. The answer that Mark Carney gave there, he understands the whole picture, flying at 30,000 feet and looking down. We can do so much in this country if we focus on what we can do. We can't change the mind of a buffoon down south to try and be who we want him to be. He's an asshole, and that's just the way it is. And just like you learned in the playground at school, if there was a bully and an asshole in the playground at school, you learned probably, well, it's probably a good idea to go play with other kids and make other friends. that will be better friends with you. Even though the bully and the asshole may be the biggest kid and the strongest kid, he doesn't have a lot of friends. And friends are important. And I could go on here, but I think we're going to end it here. Have a fantastic holiday season. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying my content. Leave your comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. How did you spend your Christmas? And the real question in this video is, well, beautiful Christmas tree, but leave your opinion. Do I have to change the curtains? Maybe upgrade to a different pattern or a new color palette? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks for watching, everyone. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. I wish you all, again, Happy Christmas and Merry New Year. Did I get those mixed up? Some people say that. Have a wonderful time, all right? And I will catch you all on the next one.